right, here we are. Yamaha WaveVenture, Kawasaki STX 1100. All right, so we got Bob here and Maria. And they've just sold me their 1996 Yamaha WaveVenture 1100 and their 1998 Kawasaki STX 1100. Representing New York. Linda. Well, hi, Linda. And I was just telling Bob here how, I love jet skis and personal watercraft. And I told him he's welcome to come out when these are restored.
And we're going to take him up on that, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
And, you guys check out the videos on my channel. And my only goal is to get people inspired and get out on the water. So
absolutely, that'll be great.
I'm going to be looking for jet skis and a boat. I need a boat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, with the economy the way it is, there might be some boats for sale pretty shortly. Everyone keeps telling me. I say life's too short to wait. So, you want to do it?
Is he right here?
Yeah.
You've made our day.
Well, I'm telling you, and I'm young, but I've been saying more and more recently, when you want to do something, don't say, oh, next week, don't say, oh, next month.
Go for it.
Go for it, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
That's how I got to Florida.
Yep. Yeah, well, look at this. With this kind of sunshine, how could you not be out on the water, right?
Oh, my God. It's inspiring, right?
So, thank you guys again for
thank you.
setting me up with these skis, and I will be, updating you on the progress.
Okay.
Bob, thanks again.
Thank
Maria,
you,
it's very nice to meet you.
Baby. Thank you.
It's nice to meet you, too. I apologize. My hands are a little bit dirty.
That's all right. That's all right.
All right, so we now have the trip back to Jupiter, so hopefully I'll make it. Hey, Coop. All right, guys, we made it safely back. We're here in Jupiter, Florida, and basically these two skis here, I'm now going to focus on assessing what they need and trying to get them running. So first, I'm going to focus on the Kawasaki. Just going to go through the engine a little bit, do a compression test, and so stay tuned for the rest of that video. All right, guys, so JD here with the 1998 Kawasaki STX 1100 Sport Tour. I just want you to take a good look at this thing. So, this is all gel coat. So this is typical fading. There's a couple nicks here and there. This will buff out real easily. There's some crazing in the gel coat underneath where the traction mats were. This can be repaired, sanded and repaired with polyester resin, and then new traction mats will go in place. This is part of the seat cover kit, new seat cover kit. The selector here, the cable is disconnected and all seized up. So there's dual cables that go from this selector down to the valve on top of the tank. The valve could be seized up too, I don't know. The key assembly here, you can see some of that plastic is worn away there, but that works. The choke cable works, steering cable works, throttle, and the kill switch works. The screen is completely shot, as you can see. I have no clue how many hours are on the ski. And I want you guys to get a good look at this engine here. And you can see it's dirty, but there's not a lot of rust and corrosion. Looking in here, I can see there's a couple wires in the harness disconnected. And then on the e-box itself, I could see that these are snapped off here. So this thing definitely, and here's, this is rigged up some kind of flush fitting that someone homemade. I don't really like that. That looks really cheesy. And but looking at the motor overall, there's no perforation. All the surfaces are still got a lot of paint. They just really need to be cleaned up. Just wanted to give you another look at everything before. I haven't done anything to it yet. I'm just waiting for the battery to charge up here so that I could crank it over and get a compression test to decide how I'm going to proceed. So you guys have heard me talk about this before. This is Lear corrosion block. I only talk about it so much because I grew up around it. My dad used it on everything. He still uses it on everything. And, every time I've tried something cheaper or something different, it never works as well, and I've just been disappointed. So when I get something like this, I'm just going to spray everything down, spray the block down. I showed you that e-box with all that corrosion. I'm just going to spray that down. Just spray everything down, corrosion block. We don't want any corrosion on there. The gentleman I bought it from, really nice guy. He had some health problems, and so didn't really touch them when he had them. but the guy that he bought these from, you know, you could see they've been a little bit neglected, but since the ski was from 1998, it was probably well maintained for a good portion of its life because it's not completely beat to hell. Anyway, I've got my Milwaukee M12 here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull off the flame arrestor here, get access to the carbs. Our battery's still charging. While that's going on, I want to get this plate off so I could get some two-stroke oil sprayed down the carbs. I'm going to see if it'll fire, and we'll go from there. As I always say, be careful not to drop them in the bilge. Alright, so here's our flame arrestor cover. Our flame arrestor elements here. Not too bad. Get those cleaned up. This is the choke plate here. I don't like that corrosion on there. I'm going to go ahead and spray that down with some corrosion block. This stuff's okay to get in your two-stroke engine. It's not going to cause any damage. It's just going to burn off when she starts up. I tell you that from experience. So I'm going to get some rags to clean this up a little bit while our battery's charging. Alright, so I just cleaned up the engine a little bit with a rag here. Wiped it down. You can see that actually made quite a bit of difference, just wiping everything down and cleaning out all this crap here. So our battery is still charging, and we'll be able to hopefully see if it'll turn over. I've got some two-stroke gasoline mixed up here, and I just poured a little bit down each carb. And now we're going to see if she will fire up. I promise I did not make this flush assembly here. I'll be ordering a correct flush kit. So we've got our Kawasaki 1100 triple right here. I've cleaned up the motor a little bit and just had it running a second ago. She's running on her own, which I was surprised about. I figured the fuel in here would have been old. The oil injection pump is still there, but it's not connected, and they were pre-mixing the gas. Also, the assembly here is all disconnected, and the fuel, the petcock valve on the tank is kind of rigged up, so it's not original, but that's okay. Easy parts to replace. So just wanted to show you guys how well this thing idles and runs, and I'll give you a look at the rear exit exhaust on this as well. So remember, the hose is off. You don't want to turn that on until after you start it. So let's start her up. Alright, so I've gone ahead and put the flame arrestor back in place. We're going to go and tighten these down, and I'm going to let the ski idle on the hose a little more, and we'll be good to go. So I've done a little bit of testing out in the Kawasaki. I polished it just a bit to see if that gel coat would come back, which it does. It just needs a lot of work. Got the engine running. In fact, it runs great on its own. The jet pump is good. So basically what I'm going to do now is get this ski off of this trailer and onto the dolly. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this trailer yet, whether or not I'm going to restore it. It does need hubs, bearings, tires, wheels, lights, a jack, winches. This trailer needs one of everything, and you can see it's bent, which I didn't even realize when I bought it, that the frame of the trailer was mangled. So basically, I'm just going to get this ski off. I have a single trailer I can put it on, and then we'll deal with the WaveVenture when we get to it. But how I'm going to do this series here is I'm going to focus on one ski at a time. So we're going to start with the Kawasaki, and the first thing I'm going to do is get this onto the dolly, and then I'm going to get it washed up. And I've got new seats, new seat covers coming. The foam is okay, so I've got new covers coming for all this. I've got new traction mats. I'm going to go through and repair all this with some polyester resin just in the areas where the traction mats go. And then there's a couple other parts that I've already ordered for this. The biggest problem we have is the display here. The display is cooked. They do sell this overlay, and there is a way to repair this. So I'm going to get into that in a little bit. I'm going to get that out and see if I can get it apart and see if maybe it's just the polarizing screen on the LCD that's bad. If the LCD itself is cracked, I'll need to buy a new one of these. And even used, they are fairly pricey, but I do want to get this ski up and running and get it in the water for my wife, Lauren. So whatever it takes. So now I'm just going to get this onto the dolly. Stay tuned for next week's episode while I continue to bring this 1998 Kawasaki STX 1100 ST back to life.